What's up, everybody? Geek and PD here. Welcome back for another video today. And today I have for you the spoiler review for the new movie Transformers: Rise of the Beast. Now, before we get to that, I need you guys to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell, or else Unicron is going to come and destroy the world, because he's a planet eater, okay? He's going to eat Earth, and just so you guys know, that's where we live. So if you don't like this video right now or subscribe to my channel right now, Unicron is going to get us all. So have you done it yet? Good, you saved the world. Good job, I applaud you. Alrighty, with that out of the way, let's get to the review. So Transformers: Rise of the Beast was directed by Stephen Capel Jr. Please forgive me if I'm mispronouncing your name. And it is a standalone sequel to the 2018 film Bumblebee. Now, even technically, Rise of the Beast is the 7th live-action Transformers film in the film series. However, in a way, this movie and Bumblebee are kind of now part of like a rebooted timeline. So Bumblebee was originally developed as a prequel to the original Michael Bay films, but after it made a lot of money, and after reading all the reviews for the last couple of Transformers movies beforehand, Paramount and Hasbro decided to just start from scratch with Bumblebee being a soft reboot. And now Rise of the Beast continues on with, and what I think is an official full reboot, because this is kind of a spoiler, but it was in the trailers, because Unicron is in this movie, and in The Last Night, it was established that Unicron was Earth. But here, Unicron is clearly not Earth. So it's, at this point, I don't think they can hide it anymore. It's a full reboot that they're doing now. So, the plot of this movie, it involves the Beast Wars animated series, which I gotta be honest with you, I watched a lot of the G1 Transformers show. I didn't watch a lot of Beast Wars, so I know there's a lot of people who were super excited that they were doing Beast Wars in this movie, with me being partial to the original cast. But it was really cool. It was a nice new direction to take these films in, especially when the last couple of films went home with the traditional Autobot versus Decepticon conflict, which the Decepticons don't appear in this at all, which is kind of surprising, but once again, with the story that they went with, it kind of makes sense why they didn't have the Decepticons in there, though I am dying to see G1 Megatron in live action, okay? I need to see that. He was cut from the opening scene of Bumblebee, where we saw everyone else in their G1 designs except for Megatron. So I need to see Megatron in this universe, okay? I need to see him in his G1 design. Get Frank Welker to voice him again. They got Peter Cullen to play Optimus again. Can bring back Frank Welker. They did it for The Last Night, so they need to do that. Get on that. Next Transformers movie, bring in Megatron, okay? But with that said, even though Megatron not in this, I'm not gonna lie, I really liked the villain in this movie, Scourge. He's voiced by Peter Dinklage, one of my all-time favorite actors. Scourge is kind of like, think of him as like Galactus from Marvel and Galactus's heralds, like the Silver Surfer and all those different heralds who will go to each planet to prepare them for Galactus's coming. That's kind of who Scourge is for Unicron. He's like a herald. He's coming to these planets and preparing them for Unicron to come and devour. So that's Scourge's role in this film. In a way, he's kind of like a glorified henchman in a way, but also in another angle, he's sort of the main antagonist, because he's doing a lot of the stuff that's going to lead Unicron to Earth. So in a way, Unicron is sort of like a living MacGuffin, other than the transwarp key, which Scourge is trying to get to bring Unicron to Earth. So, it depends how you look at it. In a way, Scourge is kind of the main antagonist. In a way, it's Unicron. But I really like Scourge in this film. He was really cool and menacing. Like the opening scene, which revealed the the backstory of the Maximals. Optimus Primal's, like, mentor, Ape Link, I think that's his name. He's trying to hold back Unicron's forces, and you just see he looks right into the dark forest, and you just see Scourge just slowly walking through these through this dark forest, and I thought, oh crap, like, he was a legitimately menacing villain. Honestly, I think Scourge might be the best villain in a live-action Transformers movie since Megatron in 27's Transformers movie, and, in my opinion, Lockdown in Age of Extinction. I'm not a huge fan of Age of Extinction, but I will admit Lockdown was pretty cool in that. I really liked Lockdown. But yeah, for me, it's Megatron from Transformers 2027, Scourge from Rise of the Beast, and Lockdown from Age of Extinction. So, then two, I can't remember their names, but Scourge had, like, two other, like, minions with him. I can't remember their names. To be honest with you, they were just kind of there to have more Transformers there, or to have, like, to give Scourge his allies to go up against the Autobots. So they would have been cool, like the female one that was flying around everywhere. She was really cool, I thought, but she was underutilized. So was the other Transformer, who turned into like a tow truck. I cannot think of their names for the life of me, but they were cool. They were just kind of underutilized. Unlike Scourge, because Scourge was pretty cool in this movie. I was really happy with Scourge. So the main plot of the movie is, of course, the Autobots got to team up with the Maximals to get this transwarp key that Scourge is trying to get a hold of to bring Unicron to Earth. But Optimus is wanting to use it to get the Autobots back to Cybertron, because it's revealed at the end of Bumblebee, apparently the Autobots were stranded on Earth, because it was originally believed that that was just like a pit stop for them to regroup and like catch their bearings from the war, because they were initially losing the war on Cybertron. But now for like the last 10 years now, they've been trapped on Earth. And Optimus, he just kind of blames himself for that. And spoiler alert, Bumblebee dies in this, which I thought Bumblebee was like the one character that was like not allowed to die in these movies, and in the first 20 minutes Bumblebee's just killed by Scourge, and I'm sitting there thinking, holy crap, they actually killed Bumblebee. And so Optimus blamed himself for that as well. Now I gotta admit, at first, because in this movie Optimus reminded me a lot of his Bayformers version, the one that's memed to be like a psychopath, where technically Optimus in the Michael Bay movies has a higher kill count than Megatron. You're bad if you killed more people than Megatron, okay? Because you know how bad Megatron is. But Bayformers Optimus Prime has killed more than he has. So there's a lot of that same attitude in this Optimus. But I kind of liked it here because it's part of his arc. Because Optimus, he's not the traditional Optimus who's like, oh, freedom is the right of all sentient beings, who's kind to all and is a great leader. No, we have here an Optimus who's kind of vulnerable in a way. He blames himself for stranding him and the Autobots on Earth because he led them there in a way. So he's starting to doubt himself now. So I thought that was really interesting. I think it's gonna be kind of like, how like in the Homecoming trilogy, where it started out where Spider-Man wasn't the Spider-Man that we knew of until like he developed over the trilogy, and the same thing's happening with Robert Pattinson's Batman. I'm thinking that they could be doing that with Optimus Prime in these movies. So by the end of the third film in this trilogy, because it's confirmed they are doing a trilogy, by the end of the third film, I think we'll have the more recognizable Optimus. So I think they're going to develop him over this trilogy, which is going to be really cool. Optimus, I feel like a lot of the Transformers were kind of underdeveloped in the old Bayformers movies. So it's really cool to see them get some character growth in some way. So, especially for Optimus, because he's the GOAT, okay? Optimus is the GOAT of Transformers. So, speaking of GOATs, My surprise favorite in this was Mirage. He's kind of the new Bumblebee type character. You know how like in the original Transformers film where they kind of had Bumblebee be the ally to the human characters? That's Mirage in this movie. So I think that might be why they killed off Bumblebee, because they were trying to push more for Mirage to take that role, and it wouldn't have really made sense if I don't think they wanted Bumblebee to take Mirage's spotlight. Where they're trying to develop Mirage, that's going to be hard when you have Bumblebee over here, because everybody knows Bumblebee. So I think that's why they killed off Bumblebee so early, so they could develop Mirage more. And Mirage, he has the potential to be an annoying character, but he really wasn't. He was actually really funny, and he was really charming as a character. So I really liked Mirage in this. Speaking of which, Mirage, his human friend is Noah Diaz, who, I'm just going to say this right now. Noah Diaz is probably the best human protagonist ever in a Transformers movie. Yes, I said it. The only one who might give him competition is Shia LaBeouf's Sam Witwicky from the original three, and maybe Haley Steinfeld as Charlie. Now, to be fair, Sam Witwicky got a little bit more development than Charlie did, because he had 3 whole movies where she just had 1. And of course Noah did as well, but unlike the Bumblebee one, this one kind of hints that Noah will be sticking around, which I'm happy, because I actually really liked his character. For the first time in so long in an action movie like this, the human characters actually are interesting. Like Noah, his whole thing is he was a former like electronics expert for the military, but now that he's back, he's trying to take care of his mom and his brother, who's like horribly sick of like this illness. And Noah, he's kind of putting all this on his shoulders, and he's just having a horrible time with it, like trying to get a job and make money to get proper treatment for his brother. So I from the very beginning, when you first meet Noah, you instantly feel for him, and through the whole time, he's just a really likable character. And the relationship that he has with Mirage is really cool. I had a big grin on my face the whole time. So yeah, I really liked Mirage and Noah. I hope they do more with Noah, because honestly, this is the first time since Shia LaBeouf's Sam Witwicky where I've really enjoyed a human protagonist, and honestly, this might be the first time ever where I've actually liked a human character in a big action movie like this, because it's always like a big criticism in big action movies like this, where you have these CGI creatures or monsters where the human characters are super bland. Like that was in Godzilla 2014, like something like that. But here, I thought Noah was really cool and really interesting. I would really love to see more from him. So, as you can tell, I really liked this movie. There's a few things that I have my qualms about, but they're more of like nitpicks. So, my biggest one is Unicron'S voice. Now, Unicron'S design was amazing. Like, straight from the old TV show. Looks exactly who he is in the old show. But his voice, I didn't like his voice in this movie. It needed to be pitched down a little bit. Whenever I think of like Unicron, I tend to think of like Orson Welles' portrayal of Unicron in the animated film, which is my favorite Transformers movie. I actually like it better than all the other live action movies. That's not to bash on the live action movies, it's just I really love the animated movie. But I was kind of hoping they would have gone more for that. Like, find an actor who can speak in that same tone that Orson Welles gave Unicron, and try and replicate that for this. And I would have preferred that. Maybe they can do something different for it, and maybe it's because they didn't do much with it, because Unicron doesn't have a lot of speaking lines in this, so I might have needed to hear him a little bit more for me to decide. So, but that's just me. Then two, let's see. There was one other thing that I noticed that I wasn't a huge fan of, but I can't think of it. Oh, I remember. So this nitpick kind of got better as the film went on, but near the beginning, there were certain scenes where the Transformers, they would show them start to transform, then they'd cut away to something else, like the characters watching or something, and then they'd cut back to them transformed. I remember Mirage did that in the beginning when he first met Noah, because he's like, oh, if you help us, I'll help you, like, get money for your brother by letting you sell me, or something like that, and he transforms into these, like, different versions, like, these different cars, but we're all seeing it from, like, the camera's pointing at Noah, him watching it. We're not actually seeing Mirage transform. Then, two, it was in the trailer, but the scene where Optimus is walking along to those lined of buses in the rain, we see him transform, but then the camera pans behind a school bus, and when we get to the other side, he's in robot mode. So that was, I had a problem with that. I just want to see the Transformers transform. It's so cool. It's always cool to see that, and it never gets old. But I will say that issue did fix itself as the film went on. It was not a problem through most of the movie. It was just like a tiny bit at the beginning, but over time it got way better. So that's not much of a criticism. It's just, oh, I kind of wish they'd done it more in the beginning too. But either way, like I said, this movie was pretty good, and the emotion, the relationship between Noah and his brother was amazing. Honestly, I like Dominique Fishback's character, Elena. I liked her, but I think I might have preferred it if Noah and his brother were the main human leads. Like, if the brother went with him. I think that would have been a better chance to bring a more emotional side to all this, to all the, like, chaos and stuff like that, which there is still, like, emotion in it. Like, the scene where Noah, we think he's gonna die, and he remembers his brother, like, the relationship they have. And his brother, because they have, like, a walkie-talkie that they talk to each other, and his little brother says, you're always telling me to keep going and to push through, so I'm going to tell you to push through, keep going, don't give up. And it's such a beautiful scene. So I really liked that. Like I said, I liked Noah in this film. He's the best human protagonist in a Transformers movie, hands down. At least the live-action ones. So I think I'm going to give this movie an A-. The only things that bring it down from an A or A+ would be the little nitpicks I had, which were Unicron'S voice and the lack of, like, proper on-screen transformations near the beginning. But other than that, this was a really good movie. As a Transformers fan, I'm really happy this movie was good. You know, the Bayformers films, I have a soft spot for those, especially The Last Knight. I mean, Optimus Prime with a sword. That is hands down the greatest decision anyone's ever made with the Transformers franchise. Giving Optimus Prime a sword. That is awesome, okay? Okay? I will always here for that. So, because of that, The Last Knight has a special place in my heart. But with Bumblebee and Rise of the Beast, it really does seem like maybe we could be getting some really good Transformers movies now, where they're actually Transformers movies rather than movies with Transformers in them. So I can't wait to see what the future holds, because at the end, G.I. Joe is on a card that Noah's given, so we know a G.I. Joe and Transformers crossover is coming real soon, so it's going to be interesting to see that. So with that said, this has been Geekopedia. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. I've got a Mario review coming, and more parts to my Dragon Ball series review. Remember, God loves you and I love you too, and I'll see you guys next time.